Now, a 19 News special report. Dear ancestors.
Dear ancestors.
Dear ancestors.
To my beloved ancestors,
I thank you, my ancestors. Thank you for being our great cloud of witnesses.
Dear Ancestors is a compilation of open letters from some of our staff and community members during Juneteenth. The letters look back on how far the community has come and gives thanks to those who sacrificed and paved the way.
Dear ancestors, I know you've never met me and I've never met you, but I need to let you know how much of an inspiration you have been to me, how your strength made it possible for my dreams to become a reality. I kneel and bow to your legacy. I can't fathom how you were able to endure so much trauma, pain, heartache, struggle, all in the name of freedom and respect. In that same breath, you were able to build, reshape, and revolutionize our existence, our intelligence, our resolve. You built communities that flourished and thrived. You were doctors, educators, scientists, engineers, inventors. From your beautiful minds came the invention of the golf tee, the traffic light, the ironing board, and so much more. Because of your fight and persistence, progress was and has been made. But sadly, we still have a long way to go. As I stand right now here in 2021, we are still dealing with the same hardships you faced: discrimination, racism, inequality. In fact, it's incredibly frustrating. We are in a fight for our survival. We need help. We need to channel the spirits of our Queen Mothers, Harriet, Sojourner, Rosa, and Fannie Lou. We need the leadership of our kings, Garvey, Malcolm, Martin, and Stokely. We need that unity right now to get through this. I am awesome. I'm the best. I am great, but only because I'm grateful. Grateful for the foundation you built. Grateful for the path you paved. Grateful for stepping in your shoes, and grateful for the walls and ceilings that you broke just so I can achieve my dreams. But my journey continues. Our spirits and souls will be forever connected. My life is your dream realized, but not yet fulfilled. And what you've given to us, we must pass on now to future generations so that our legacy and existence continues. Thank you. Rest well, rest in love, rest in power.
To our ancestors, because of you, I can have dreams and work to make them become a reality. Thank you for standing strong and fighting for my right as a Black woman to have my voice heard and cast a vote, to live where I choose, and to make my family proud by becoming a journalist. As a television news reporter over the past year, I have shed tears because of the hate so many have experienced, including myself. People who have written emails calling me trash, a criminal, and talking about watermelon in a bigoted attempt to upset me because they don't agree with how a story was told. When I gain the strength of our ancestors, my first goal will be to find more opportunities for Black communities, but also tell them to stop being their own enemy, stop killing us, and find a way, in spite of the hate, to rise above it and find a new road to freedom that stops the violence, promotes Black business and opportunity. We want to make the next generations proud when they look back on our history.
Dear ancestors, to those who came before me, I thank you. I thank you for your faith, your endurance, and your hope. I celebrate your sacrifices every day. I honor your struggles to shed the shackles of the intolerance of slavery. Because of your willingness to lay your lives on the altar of hatred and intolerance, I stand here today as a symbol of your courageous fight for freedom. Thank you. Thank you for the struggles you've endured to pave the way for the possibility of a world embracing humanity. Your fight for dignity will never be silenced. but rather stand as a beacon of light, illuminating a path to continue the fight for equality. You give me hope that we can overcome the challenges brought before us today. I thank you, my ancestors, those who came before me, for guiding me, looking over me, and empowering me to continue the journey for justice.
Dear ancestors, because of you, because of your strength, because of your endurance, because of your fight, and because of your love for our people, I will not stand watch and allow all that you endured for me to be here, and those who came before me and will come after me be erased, eradicated, forgotten, and dismissed. Your treasured son, James Baldwin, once said that there is really no limit to where you can go if you know whence you came. So I will push forward and make sure that all of who you were and all that you sacrificed are not forgotten. No matter how exhausted, weary, tired, frustrated, heartbroken I am by the constant oppression, I will think of you and push forward to carry on your work. So my wildest dreams are much like what I can only imagine were your realities, hoping that the foundation of your freedom is entangled with the roots of my tree while continuing to grow, flourish, and nourish our people to do more. So as I settle into my reminiscing on you and your experience that Monday, June 19, 1865, I am grateful for the foundation, the tree you set forth, that I can continue to grow my roots and be that of what you envisioned, imagined, and felt when you were declared free. Your daughter and heir, Twyla Turner.
To those who came before us, as I sit back and think of my future, I cannot ignore the reasons why I'm able to have a future to look forward to. It is not only due to my own abilities as a person, but the grit, the persistence, and determination that was taught to me through the actions of you, my ancestors. Your stories give me guidance and strength. When I reflect on the stories of bondage, pain, strife that you endured, it is a very clear image of the lack of humanity people can have. How hate and greed can fuel people to commit the most atrocious acts. Not only led to the death of millions, but hundreds of years of mental and physical trauma that your children's children have yet to shake. From freedom to the Reconstruction era to the Civil Rights Movement, we have used these lessons that you've taught us to achieve greatness. The strides you have made since then have been truly impactful, but we still have a long way to go to reach real equality. We may not see this in my lifetime. Maybe when one of my descendants chooses to write me, I want you to know the sacrifices that you were forced to make were not in vain. It provided us with a future. To the ancestors known and unknown, you are with us every step of the way, carrying the torch to guide us.
Dear ancestors, I'm writing you this letter with a heavy heart. They tell me so much has changed since you made the ultimate sacrifice for justice and equality for all people. I really want to believe this is true, but is this fact? Yearly, monthly, weekly, even daily reminders provide us the harsh reality that there is much more work to be done. Dear ancestors, I do not want your work to be in vain. Dr. King, it is unfortunate that not far from where you offered the optimism of an American dream that sought a more perfect union, we now live with the nightmare of domestic terrorism that threatened the very fabric of our democracy. Madam C.J. Walker, you once proclaimed, "I am a woman who came from the cotton fields of the South with humble beginnings." But those humble beginnings did not define your destiny. You rose to become the nation's first Black female millionaire. But why is it over a century later, out of 2,755 billionaires globally, there are only 7 Black people who are billionaires? Out of those 7, only 1 is a Black woman. Dear Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, your trailblazing contributions to the medical industry serves as a benchmark for all successful surgeons to follow. I wish you were still around today to continue to mend many of the broken hearts of mothers and fathers and countless family members around the world who are unfairly judged and victimized because of racial bias. This scene in the 1960s is eerily similar to this scene in 2020. Dear Brother James and Sister Aretha, you gave us tremendous pride to say it loud, "I'm Black and I'm proud." RESPECT was a common refrain that we all spelled out clearly to demand what we wanted. Yet today, where is the message in the music? certainly not in heavy rotation on your local radio station. We must understand that if not for the foundation of Shirley Chisholm, there's no Barack Obama. If not for the elegance of Diane Carroll, there's no Issa Rae. If there's no Jackie Robinson, Althea Gibson, or Muhammad Ali, there's no Colin Kaepernick, Serena Williams, or LeBron James. Dear ancestors, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, maybe if we knew more about you, we would strive to achieve just like you. Maybe the gifts you left us would then get passed down and create a deeper sense of pride to inspire and uplift today's generation. You fought the good fight. You deserve to rest. Now it's our turn to become the great men of distinction or the phenomenal women that Maya spoke of. Be bold, be determined, be great, be humble and respectful of those who came before and laid the foundation for us. The road will be difficult, for there's plenty of work to be done, but knowing you are watching over us, dear ancestors, we know we will be destined for the ultimate greatness, both individually and as a nation.
You're watching a 19 News special report. Dear Ancestors.
Dear ancestors, you are your ancestors' wildest dream. You are your ancestors' wildest dream. You are your ancestors' wildest dream. And so, you are loved, you are revered, you are beautiful, you are protected, you are admired, you are smart, you are important, you are resilient, you are meaningful, you are proud, you are brave, you are authentic, you are purposeful, you are respected, you are original, you are strong, you are inspiration, you are needed, you are successful, you are enough, you are destined, you are present because you are your ancestors' wildest dream.
Dear ancestors, I write to you today to let you know I recognize I am standing on the soil that you toiled during the 17th and 18th centuries, forced from your home continent of Africa to be exploited to work as indentured servants and labor in the production of crops such as tobacco and cotton. What would I be without your strength, fortitude, and faith that one day I too could learn to survive the weapons of a different type of slavery, free of physical chains, but now embellished with mental and emotional chains. So many of you, my ancestors, who made history but remain nameless, opened doors for people like Sadie Tanner Moselle Alexander, born in 1898, a native Philadelphian who was the first Black woman to receive a PhD in economics in the United States, to graduate with a law degree from Penn Law School, and the first African-American woman to practice law in Pennsylvania. I am so grateful to you, my ancestors, for your journey and the path you created for all the people before me, the people with me, and the people who follow me. I cherish your lives, your walk, your defeats and victories, and want you to know that while I pray for you to continue to rest peacefully, know that while the road is still rough, we will continue to win, and because of you, we will continue to rise. Sincerely.
Dear ancestors, today I reflect on Juneteenth and the pride and the pain that we must acknowledge as a part of this day of remembrance and celebration. While it is easy to look back now and think about the joy and exuberance that must have engulfed you on June 19, 1865, I also recognize the pure confusion and uncertainty that you also found with this new freedom. It is 2021, and now Juneteenth carries a different weight and significance, because while we may no longer be enslaved, Black people in this country and around the world are still fighting to protect that freedom that you sacrificed your life for. In the years following that day of Jubilee, we know that it was not easy sailing. You fought and navigated the Jim Crow South. You fought and navigated unfair treatment during the Civil Rights Movement. And you fought and navigated to make it possible for me to be here today. For your willingness to always stay in the fight, I say thank you.
To my beloved ancestors, you were before me that I would be. You endured the heights of humankind, discovered the wonders of the world millennia before I was a twinkle in my father's eye. Because you were, I am. You gave me the strength to swim fastest from my father's loins to my mother's womb, that I alone would be your legacy in this body, in this mind and spirit. You protected me as a shepherd's flock. You stood on the Serengeti and watched the wildebeest and marveled at God's creations through the annals of time. You taught the world astrology, mathematics, medicine, numerology, science, and had enough left over to ensure that one day I would be. You vested in me your hopes and dreams that somehow, in a distant land, I would find myself among the millions and fulfill my destiny. Thank you is not enough, so I will end this letter by vowing to carry on the humanity you imbued in me before I drew fresh breath. This I swear, I will breathe, I will breathe, I will breathe.
Dear ancestors, our great cloud of witnesses, as we pause to celebrate Juneteenth, that long-awaited day when Texas slave owners were forced to adhere to the Emancipation Proclamation, a full 2 years after it was issued, we just want to let you know how grateful we are that you decided by God's grace to live. You could have given up, but you lived. You could have taken your own lives instead of enduring the horrific, unimaginable, inhumane cruelty of slavery, but you lived. And because you lived, we live. We've overcome so much since that time, yet we have so far to go. We think of you and tell our children of you. When they form their mouths to complain, we tell them how you rose before the sun came up and worked until the sun went down. We tell them of how you were forced to suffer through picking cotton and plowing fields and chopping tobacco plants, tending to livestock while being treated as less than the hogs being fed, all without pay. We tell them of your scarred backs, your raped, beaten, and burned bodies, your cries for your children as they were ripped from your arms and sold. Yet somehow, you kept on believing that freedom was coming. You kept on believing that your children and their children would have better. You kept on believing that God would make a way somehow. We recount all that you endured and gained the strength to live. Your endurance gave us the courage to regain the ground we obtained during Reconstruction, a fight we're still waging today. Your tenacity, though your bodies were fettered by chains, gave us the gumption to fight for legislation, to change Jim Crow laws, to give us the right to vote, to fight for equal opportunities to educate our children, and to elect our first African-American president, Barack Obama. Unfortunately, there are still those who seek to bind us with chains, chains of a new kind, chains of mass incarceration, chains of over-policed communities, chains of poverty, chains of drugs being pumped into our inner cities, chains of unjust systemic racism. Our young men and women being killed at disproportionate levels by police without accountability. But you have taught us how to fight and how to win. And because you taught us how to persevere, we've begun to see change. We just elected the first African American and first Jewish senators from the state of Georgia. Who would have thought? Thank you for teaching us how, in the words of Zora Neale Hurston, to jump at the sun. Thank you for planting shade trees under which you knew full well you would never sit, but planted anyway to give us the shade of faith, hope, love, and perseverance. Thank you for thinking of us, praying for us, running for us, hiding for us, bowing your heads for us, averting your eyes for us, enduring constant indignities in order to stay alive and keep to fight another day. Thank you for being our great cloud of witnesses, looking over the banister of eternity, whispering to our souls, walk together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
You can watch all of the Dear Ancestor letters in their entirety on our website, cleveland19.com, or any of our streaming platforms. A special thanks to our dancers with the Dejapo Cultural Arts Institute. Thanks for watching.